Hello and welcome back. You're watching World News and I'm your host, Klaudia Czerwińska. The United States is expected to supply a further $500 million in military equipment and ammunition to Ukraine. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is expected to make the announcement at the Thursday's meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group of around 50 allies that provide support to Kyiv. The latest weapons provision was reported as the White House works to get Ukraine in a stronger negotiating position before Donald Trump takes office in less than a fortnight. Today's meeting could potentially be the last gathering of the U.S.-led group, with participating countries waiting to see whether it will be continued under Trump. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico has published a video to his social media account accusing Volodymyr Zelensky of damaging the Slovakian economy by not extending a transit deal for Russian gas, which expired at the end of 2024.
Stopping the transit of gas through Ukraine, which damaged Slovak national and financial interests, was the reason why I traveled to Moscow. I needed to secure at least gas for Slovakia's domestic needs, which we have done. President Zelensky is sabotaging the financial interests of Slovakia and the European Union, despite the fact that the European Commission clearly states in its official letter that nothing prevents Ukraine from continuing transit, neither European law nor sanctions. In the case of Slovakia, we are talking about damage of 500 million euros in transit fees and 1 billion euros in higher prices.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in his nightly address on Wednesday, expressed his support for Moldova. The words of encouragement follow a recent meeting between the heads of state of the two countries. According to Zelensky, Ukraine is willing to help Moldova with its difficult energy situation by providing coal.
Сьогодні я провів кілька міжнародних розмов.
Today I held several international conversations. From Moldova, Maya Sandu. The most important thing, of course, is to help Moldova get through a difficult period of energy challenges and prevent Moscow from inciting social tension. The current energy situation in Moldova, particularly on the left bank of the Dniester, is Russia's attempt to manipulate energy resources against the government in Moldova. We are ready to help, including with coal. It is very important to maintain stability and provide all people in Moldova with conditions to live peacefully and work for their country, to overcome poverty and to move together towards the European Union.
Щоб жити спокійно та працювати на свою країну.
We will not leave our citizens without electricity, said Lithuanian Prime Minister Gintautas Paluckas, following the announcement that Lithuania is stepping up security for its electricity link with Poland. The country plans to disconnect its electricity grid from Russia and Belarus next month.
An important moment for Lithuania is approaching. No more electricity connections with Belarus and Russia. This makes its Lit-Pol link with Poland a potential target for sabotage, and therefore it needs increased protection.
Obviously, with the intensification of the probabilities of various provocations or sabotage, the government is paying additional attention to one of the most important upcoming events in our energy system, namely disconnections from the Brel Soviet-era grid connection with Russia and synchronization with the power grids of continental Europe.
Prior to its independence from the Soviet Union, Lithuania's power was managed straight from Moscow. It has taken a joint Baltic initiative, partially funded with €1.3 billion by the EU, to build infrastructure capable of being independent from Russian influence.
We take this very seriously, the simulated situations, even in various critical cases. We will definitely not leave Lithuanian consumers without electricity.
The process, which began in 2018, reaches a milestone on February the 8th, when Vilnius, along with the rest of the Baltic states, disconnect its electricity links with Russia and Belarus.
Poland will hold the first round of this year's presidential election on May 18th. The official date was announced on Wednesday by the Speaker of the Parliament, Szymon Hołownia.
The news that Poland has been waiting for is finally here. The date of the presidential election has been set.
I am very pleased that this process is beginning. Every election is truly a celebration of democracy, not just a slogan. In just over 4 months, 16 weeks, we will all head to the polls to choose the next president of the Republic.
If no candidate receives an absolute majority of votes, the election will go to a runoff 2 weeks later on June 1st. In the meantime, political parties and candidates have until April 4th to submit their nominations. The timing of the election is determined by the constitutional provision that mandates elections cannot be held within 90 days following the end of a state of emergency. Poland's state of emergency, declared in response to severe flooding in September 2024, was lifted on October 16th, meaning the 90-day period expires on January 14, 2025.
Polish President Andrzej Duda has called for special measures to ensure Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu can attend the 80th anniversary of Auschwitz's liberation without the risk of arrest, Bloomberg reported on Tuesday. The request follows ongoing international legal challenges against the Israeli leader. Let's cross live to our correspondent in Tel Aviv, Diana Skaya, for more on that. Good morning, Diana. So tell us, based on what's been happening in the media, what is being said in Israel about the latest developments when it comes to that request by Andrzej Duda?
Well, let me tell you, Claudia, I just took a stroll here through some stores and I saw some newspapers. But I mean, really, Ynet News and Haaretz, both top Israeli media, have reported that indeed, and they're all citing, of course, the report by Bloomberg, Andrzej Duda is asking for this exceptional circumstance cases in order to allow Netanyahu to freely and safely come to attend this Auschwitz liberation event. We understand it is the most important event for Jews worldwide. He's also asking, of course, we know, for nothing to happen, for his arrest not to take place. Now, I did reach out a couple of days ago to the Prime Minister's office for comment on whether or not Netanyahu will be attending. He said he never received an open invitation. We're still waiting for that. I still have not gotten a response officially. Instead, what we do know is that Israel's education minister was sent to attend the ceremony on January 27. However, with now the Polish president writing an open letter to the Polish premier, this may show that, in fact, Netanyahu may actually possibly be willing to attend this event that is supposed to happen on the 27th of January in Poland. Claudia?
Thank you so much, Diana. Please remember to keep us updated on the latest developments in that situation. Diana Skaya coming to us live from Tel Aviv. 5 people have lost their lives and thousands were forced to leave their homes behind as a devastating fire ravages Los Angeles. On Wednesday, multiple wildfires burned out of control at the west and east sides of the Los Angeles County, setting entire neighborhoods ablaze.
Lives and livelihoods gone.
I think climate change affects a lot of problems that we have been having, natural disasters.
It's real people out here going through some real shit.
Right.
Real stuff.
Right.
Real things. Right. Losing their clothes, their life, their family, their pictures, their everything that they have had.
And those away from home receive alarming texts.
Have you got anything that is really precious that you want me to pack? And I'm like, you and the dogs, that's it.
The fire spares nothing and no one.
All I want is good news. My son lives out here in the way. They got a notification yesterday that their home is about to burn around.
Firefighters from across the state are fighting to tame the violent flames.
This firestorm is the big one in magnitude. Hurricane-force winds are usually accompanied by rainstorms, but these are hurricane-force winds that are combined with extremely dry drought conditions.
People have fled for their lives, leaving everything behind. Not sure what will remain to come back to.
The late President Jimmy Carter, whose funeral takes place on Thursday, developed human rights as a policy approach to help bring about the end of communist rule in Poland and the Eastern Bloc, the U.S. ambassador to Poland recently told TVP World. Mark Brzezinski shared his boyhood memories of the former president with our reporter John Todd.
President Carter understood how important Poland was as a country in the Eastern Bloc. The Polish people had not been crushed during the most austere phases of Soviet totalitarianism and communist imposition, that in fact they had maintained their national identity, the Polish identity, and that would be, quite frankly, a real motor train for the struggle for freedom during the communist era. Remember, President Carter came to Poland in 1977 just as the Solidarity movement was beginning to germinate in Poland. And I'll tell you, John, my father, as National Security Advisor in the late 1970s, used to come home and share with his family, us kids at the dinner table, how he would sign off on transfers of literally blocks of cash being smuggled by the CIA into communist Poland to be given to the Solidarity movement to support their activities.
You can watch the full interview with Mark Brzezinski on TVP World's YouTube channel. This would be all for now. Thank you so much for joining, and please stay tuned here on TVP World, as we'll be back in just a moment with more news and features.